This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
If you go after me, I'm coming after you. You'll remember on August 4th at 4:16 p.m. Eastern Time, Donald Trump posted that to Truth Social. Now, obviously, Donald Trump is not going to come after anybody himself. What he's doing there is giving permission for his frothing at the mouth, freaky, insane, untethered from reality audience for them to do the coming after. I don't know for how long I've been talking about this, the threat of violence, the very real threat of violence that will inevitably 100% come to fruition because Donald Trump wants it to. He wills it to. And we're seeing it happen right now. Not just with the case of Tanya Chutkan, who there has been arrest made relative to threats against her life, but this particular case that I'm going to talk about right now, and that is the fact that when the Georgia indictment was released, there was a list of all of the grand jurors. I can only suspect that it has to do with Georgia law, that their names they're public. But Donald Trump's devoted allies have taken to social media, have taken to websites, the internet, well, maybe not social media, and they've posted the names and what they believe are the addresses of these people. Now, what purpose would that serve other than threat? I think the answer is self-evident. There is no purpose for it other than to endanger their lives, their families' lives, in an effort to exact some kind of retribution for the indictments, the justifiable legal indictments against Donald Trump for his serial criminality. I'm going to read from this article here. Trump supporters post names and addresses of Georgia grand jurors online. A fringe website featured the purported names and addresses of the Fulton County grand jury that indicted Trump and 18 other people for their efforts to overturn the 2020 election. You see, Donald Trump's fan base, because that's what it is, his dutiful adherents, they do not care about the rule of law. They prattle on about law and order and back the blue, but they don't really care about doing things in a lawful manner, just like the guy they venerate. If they did, they would respect the process. They would let the grand jury do its work, moving to a trial where a jury of his peers will judge him. If his lawyers put on a good case and in some demonstrable way demonstrate his innocence, then he'll prevail. That's how it works. You don't, after the fact, threaten jurors. This is from the article. The purported names and addresses of the members of the grand jury that indicted Donald Trump and 18 of his co-defendants on state racketeering charges this week have been posted on a fringe website that often features violent rhetoric, NBC News has learned. The grand jurors' purported addresses were spotted by Advanced Democracy, a nonpartisan research group founded by Daniel Jones, a former FBI investigator and staffer for the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee. Quote, "It's becoming all too commonplace to see everyday citizens performing necessary functions for our democracy being targeted with violent threats by Trump-supporting extremists," Jones said. The lack of political leadership on the right to denounce these threats, which serve to inspire real-world political violence, is shameful. I always wonder if you guys are going to get sick and tired of me saying some of the same things. And doing the thing where, well, I'm confused. What do you call it when, I'll just do it again. Well, what do you call it when someone uses violence or the threat of violence to forward a political objective? It's terrorism. That's what these people are. Donald Trump is inciting domestic terrorism. There's no other way around it. There's no other way to look at it. And Republicans, crickets. Republicans are silent. Republicans aren't admonishing anyone. They're not condemning this. They're not saying, hey, let the process work itself out. Let the justice system work. No. If anything, they are encouraging Trump to do this. Advanced Democracy also noted that users were posting the names and images of people believed to have been grand jurors on other social media sites. The posts assert that the jurors had posted on social media in support of Senator Bernie Sanders, Raphael Warnock, and former President Barack Obama, and the Black Lives Matter movement. The indictment issued Monday lists the names of the grand jury members, but not their addresses or personal information. Tuesday, after Trump posted on his social media website that authorities were going after those that fought to find the riggers, we all know what he's doing there. Advanced Democracy said Trump supporters were using the term rigger in lieu of a racial slur in posts. Because of course they are. Look, no one ever asked this question. It's been on my mind lately. It's if indeed the right truly believes that Donald Trump and other Republican criminals can't get a fair shake in a jury trial in a municipality that he didn't win, what does that say about someone like me or some other Democrat who is tried for their crimes or alleged crimes in a Republican jurisdiction? Are they saying they can't get a fair shake? Is that what they're saying? They would say, no, of course not. Republicans, they would do the right thing. They love law and order. They love justice. They love facts. They love data. They love evidence. And if a Democrat did nothing wrong, they would be exonerated. That's what they'd say. Because that works for them, but not for their guy. For their guy, it's a witch hunt. Because reason and logic and fact, none of that matters to Republicans. They have a bloodlust for power in their death cult. Someone's going to get hurt. I mean, this is the eventuality of this. Because it's not being condemned. It's being encouraged by the head of the Republican Party. It's not Ronna Romney McDaniel. It's not. She's not the leader of the Republican Party. Donald Trump is far and away the leading contender to be the nominee for the Republican Party in 2024. The leading contender. He leads the party. He sets the agenda. He says what he says, and Republicans fall in line in lockstep to whatever the dear leader said. There is no dissent. If there was, you'd be hearing it. Federal authorities need to get on top of this before a human life is lost. Someone who just answered the call of a grand jury summons, and now their life is at risk. It sends a chilling message to prospective jurors in the upcoming case that, I don't know if the grand jurors, their lives are being threatened. I don't want my life threatened. I got to provide for my kids. I want to be with my family. I want to live a full and happy, healthy life. And that's the entire objective here, without doubt. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on the social media. I'd love to see you there. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. There's too many to list without taking another breath and then listing them again, at Dollemore. And if you appreciate what I do, whether that be how I say it or what I say or how I look when I say it, or you just want to contribute so I can better myself, please support my work and help support this channel. Click the join button below. Become a channel member for $1.99 a month. Hit that super thanks button or go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be decent, be genuine, take care of one another.